Hello everyone, so we are going to continue with all the details on our model. We are almost ready, so I can have the separation and I can jump between the center part of these two shoulder guards. Okay, I'm gonna add a surface noise, and maybe before I do that I just want to check my polygons. The poly count is pretty high, pretty good, and then I'm gonna do a store morph target. Okay, so I'm gonna go through these 4 subtools and 1, 2, 3, 4, and I all did a store port of target there. So there's morph targets on these main parts of my subtools. So now when I added surface noise to them, I'll be able to have a nice look and able to go back, to how it was at this state. Okay, so I'm just gonna select this part, recenter it. Okay, I'm gonna load my alpha, and I'm just gonna go to import metal textures folder, and I'm gonna choose one of these metal rusted texture. Okay, so first thing you do, make basic noise 0, color blend 0, strength push to high. Then we'll just look at the alpha scale. Okay, maybe I'll choose another one, 6. So I can have a look at which one I want. So I think this is a better one. So far I like this more. And yeah, I think I don't need to change much. I'll just apply that. So that is cool. That's cool for me. So now I don't want to apply it first. I want to start to do some sculpting. So I want to create some of these nice orb cracks. And we have one more favorite brush today. It's the AJ Slash. So I want to create a crack like this. But at the same time, this piece is very thin, guys. Okay, so I want us to look at how thin this piece is. And this will be a problem if I use this brush. So if I do a big crack like this, you see the back, it's gonna affect the back part. And if I were to dynamesh this, I may even crash my Zbrush, because these problems will cause all these holes over here. You see that? So all these holes, Zbrush doesn't like this kind of holes, and you create this kind of holes when your mesh is not good, when you have a mesh with error. So I'm just expanding the error to show you what kind of problem this is. So we always need to keep our materials, our subtools a little bit thicker if possible, as best as we can. So yeah, so how do we do that? So I can still use this brush, but I need to be more careful. There's a button over here called back face mask. So it's meant for us to deal with thin edge polygons, so you can read the whole right up here when you hold control. So it's meant for you to deal with the thin polygons. So all this brush, it has a different setting. So if I go to Bob, then it will not have back face mask again. If I go to number 1 brush, sometimes I can on back face mask, sometimes I may not want to on back face mask. So it's a toggle on and off thing. Okay, so for this AJ Slash, I just want to make sure this time I have back face mask on. So when I created this slash, at least it will not go to the back. You see, so it's trying not to affect the back part. So it will only affect on the first side, the single side here. And as long as I don't try to re-dynamesh this, I should be fine. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Just to show you what I'm doing. That's why I have back face mask on. So if I use my number 1 brush, okay, now number 1 brush, I don't have back face mask on. I just want to see how and show you what it does. So number 1 brush, sometimes you will do things like this. You can shape your ears, and then behind, oh, what's going on? I didn't realize behind it's already turned into this. So this kind of problem is very common, guys. So make sure you on back face mask. And then, so when you re-dynamesh this, it will not give you this sort of problem. You see, these are disgusting. So it's very important not to deal with those. And we need to on back face mask. So if I were to do that again, number 1 brush, back face mask on. Okay, it'll be much better. I think there's still a little bit of error, but it's just on one side. So I'm pushing one side of the face inward, but the other side is still backward. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, keep our back face mask on. So back to my AJ slash, back face mask on, and I'm just gonna try to let it match my reference. Maybe a little bit more like it's over here. I think I don't need it to be too big as well, just a little bit. Actually, that is still too big. I'll make it a bit smaller, so maybe just like this. Because my mesh is really thin, so I'm kind of restricted on this. But the rest I can use my number 6 brush. Pump up the intensity, keep the draw size small, and I'll go through a little bit more times. So yeah, can also do from one point, hold down shift, go to another point, let go of shift while the left mouse button is still on. Okay, so we can do a straight slash like this. Okay, then maybe I can use my morph brush. I'll morph back some of these parts. Time machine morph brush, amazing. So I shouldn't need to remind you of what morph brush does. If you want to, you can look at my video playlist from last week. And I'm just another creative way of how you can use morph brush together with cracks, together with cracks like this, and make something cool. Okay, so it's already looking good, and we haven't even used our own alphas yet. So really has lots of potentials. Just gonna make a little bit more straight slashes. Don't really have the information there, but yeah, just doing a little bit more wear and tear and stuff. Morph brush brings some of this back, and I suppose because I don't want to apply my surface noise now, because there'll be deformation later if I were to do this brush rotator, so I'm doing it the surface noise after this step, after I'm happy with the orb cracks that I have. And I'm also keeping in mind that some of these details from the surface noise may not look that beautiful later. So the just part and parcel of how this is. Just gonna change the orb crack to another one of this crack here. It's pretty cool. So I just want to apply it and see how that goes. It's looking really good, guys, and I don't think I even need to use my number 8 brush. I was thinking of doing some of this stuff, but really not that important. I can maybe use this to create some alphas like this. Just touch. At the same time, I really don't need to overdo it, because I think it already looks good. So actually I'm just gonna do a little bit, very low intensity, yes. And I'll be happy with that. Okay, now on the I'm gonna do the same on this guy here. So noise, frame the mesh, use the number 1, mix basic noise is 0, color blend is 0, strength is high, and alpha scale. Yeah, I should try to remember the alpha scale size just now, because kind of important. Mix basic noise is 0. Make sure mix basic noise and color blend is 0. Happy with that. Nice, nice. And then okay, now I'm gonna do my off cracks. Symmetry is off, by the way, on purpose. So I left click, hold down shift, let go of shift. There we go. Use AJ slash again. Okay, very nice parts. I think my stuff is really thin, and I really need to be careful of how it's being applied behind. So let me try to fix this. Backface mask on. I think some of this is fine though. I'm not too concerned because by right that part is going to be inside the model, right? So I think that's the only thing I wish I make it a little bit thicker. If not, it's actually pretty perfect here. Alright, so I'm gonna... Am I happy with this? Maybe not yet. I'll use Orbcrack brush and I will do my Orbcrack brush a little bit more. It's fine. Number 8 brush to create some of this pattern. A little bit stronger intensity. And I'll now apply it to the mesh. So if there's some parts that I don't like and I want to bring it back to default, I can use my Morph brush and bring it back to default. But I wouldn't do that. Just showing you. Maybe just a little bit on some areas. But also can pinch some of this. So I don't want to pinch too much because it's gonna pinch my my surface noise. The noise that was being applied doesn't like pinching. Yeah. So I'm not doing this top part by the way because of time constraint, but I think you can understand the same principle. So if you need the top part, you can build it up on top. And now I'm just gonna go to the sides of this corners here, and I'm gonna use my AJ slash again. Just chop some of this. So I want to make sure my symmetry is off, and I want to chop it up a bit. So this AJ slash is I think is really cool for us to have some nice effects like this. So I think it may not actually be on the it's not entirely on the, how do I call it, on the reference, but a little bit of this makes it look so much better. And when you can appreciate this kind of wear and tear details, that's where you know you're a good modeler. Yeah, then you can have all these nice details. So a little bit there, and I'll do a little bit, no, 6 brush, use my number 7 brush to pinch it in a bit. And I don't even need surface noise on this, you know. Like I only did surface noise on these 2 pieces, and that's all. So and keep in mind we still have Morph Target on, so any parts that we can really try to overdo it, and then because you overdo it and then you can bring back using a Morph brush, that gives you a lot of power. So I can just use my Morph brush and morph some of these areas back. You know, a lot of power. Really fun. Right, so I think the right side is done for this. I'll go to the left side, get my edges. Use my polish brush a little bit here. So I also need to do it here. I can also use my number 9 brush. We haven't forgot about that. Number 9 brush, you can do some very nice chops. And okay, actually I don't want to do it there. It's kind of overdone. I can just chop on other areas, you know, like give a chop here, give another chop here. Like in this case, I kind of prefer what AJ brush is doing though. So the chop seems not as good as the AJ rub slash brush. It's just so good, some of these brushes. It's pretty cool that we have access to this stuff now. And I hope you guys like the brush too. Personally, I love it. I'm gonna pinch some of this in. Okay, so it's done. I think I overdone a little bit. I want to bring back some stuff. Just very lightly. Pinch. 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 Pinching the ends. Okay, now I move on to the bottom side. AJ slash. Okay, I'm cool with this slash. But I think I'd be even cooler if it's smaller. So I'll make it a bit smaller. So keep things a little bit subtle. You know, we may not need to overdo everything. And you'll continue to look nice for us. Okay, so continue the lines with number 6 brush. And a little bit of pinching. And a little bit more number 6 again. A little bit of number 6. A little bit of pinching. Okay, go to here. A little bit of number 6 brush. A little bit of pinching. A little bit more number 6 brush. A little bit of polishing on this side here. On my symmetry, so that I can polish on the other side too. I can do some trim dynamic here too. You know, so looking at this part, do trim dynamic. Use my number 6 brush again. Pinch. 6. Okay, so don't forget our 3x3 level of detail. So now I have some very thick strokes. I just want to make some very light, very thin brush strokes. You know, your effort will not go to waste. You know, like just keep in mind 3x3 level of details. Thick, deep, and then small and thin. You know, like handcraft this up a little bit. So I'm using my number 6 brush, going so many places. Go back here. So these are very thin brush strokes. And you think of if you go to a battlefield, you know, like a soldier, and then what kind of things like trees or metal knives that they have to block, you know, that this shoulder guard has to deal with, you know, that creates this kind of scars and wear and tear on the material itself. So when the light actually shines on it, you'll be able to see different detail, different level of detail. That's what we want to get. 3x3 level of details, thick and deep, thin and small, and repeat and have variation. And don't make it too messy too. Don't make it all over the place. Have some empty space, blocks of empty space, and then have some nice areas of details for people to look at your composition. And then also try to match our reference, and where it doesn't have enough information, it's also okay. We can just guess, or we can just make it better using our imagination. So do whatever you can. A good artwork will be a good artwork. Alright guys, so I think I don't want to make the video too long, so that's probably it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and so some very nice and simple techniques, and make use of the metal textures and how you apply the surface noise using the alpha over here. And I hope you learn something from this video playlist. Alright, see you next time. Bye bye.